Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. We're back with Jason Cole. What's happening, Jason Cole?
Yo, what's going on?
I was watching the news last week and I was looking at your whole setup behind you, and I'm like, okay, I'm jealous. That's pretty tech and spatially cool. So congrats on being the cool dude.
Finally got organized with the 3D printable storage wall. So
Love
easy,
it.
cheap, perfect.
And if you are in the hobby at all, you know who we're talking to today. It's Mean Joe Vermillion. What's happening, Mean Joe?
Hey, how we doing? Just so Jason doesn't feel alone, I got mine set up right there, brother.
There you go.
You need like a mirror so we can see that. If you may or may not know, Mean Joe's been out. He's taken a sabbatical of sorts. How are you doing, Mean Joe? I heard that you were mountain biking. You saw that Jason was mountain biking, and now that's what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I had to go out and get a little bit of an extra zipper installed, and we've gotten through it and every good. I do appreciate all your thoughts. I had messages on the thing every day, and I saw your guys' show, and I really appreciate all the outreach. And we're doing good here. We're getting back on track. So back in the shop finally. That just happened a week ago, so I got a lot of projects to catch up on. But other than that, we're doing real well.
You're also looking very svelte.
I'm getting there. So far, we're down. So we're going to try to get back to fighting weight here, so we don't have any more issues down the road. So
I
we've
heard you
changed
have
our way of doing things.
right. I heard you have an 8-pack, but you're working on the 6-pack.
Right. It's more of a case or a keg, but we're getting there.
All right. So Mean Joe has a lot to talk about today, and we're going to talk about some giant scale aircraft from Legend Hobby. But we're going to start out with our good friends at Hitec. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always, when I go to an event, I'm looking for people that are family, and Hitec is definitely that for me. I've known them literally through my whole career in the hobby.
Yep.
And so Jason while you were out, Jason got his hands on one of their new chargers. And then after we talked about it, there it is. It shipped back to Mean Joe, and you did a whole review on it. So why don't we go take a look at that real quick?
Yes, sir. Actually, I was really impressed with this. Of course, I've been a Hitec charger guy for a long time. I'm one of those people that consider the Hitec people a family. They were some of the first contacts I had way back when I was still with West Michigan Park Flyers. I'd hooked up with Mike and them way back then. So I was really impressed with the size of this and the amount of features that it has built into it. It's actually a very capable charger at a very small size. So for those of you that like to go fly indoor, or for those of you guys that want to have something small you can take to the field and have right out with your airplanes, it can run on a car battery. It can actually run on another, like a 12S pack if you have one to plug into the back. The capabilities of it are very good. What I want to say, the menu is very easily operated through. It's very intuitive. And it's a really, really nice charger for that size and that price point. It really is good. It's definitely full function for sure.
So Joe, I didn't mess with this when I had it, but tell me, like, is the app connectivity, is that gimmicky, or is that like actually functional and like good to use with?
I personally like the app features with the Bluetooth because I can charge down here in my shop and be upstairs, and it'll ding at me when either it faults out or if it is ready to go, and I can know. Also, wow. I can see it being useful at the field as my airplane charger, because a lot of times I have another Hitec charger that I use at the field as a smaller one to charge planes while I'm there. But this one with the connectivity, I'll be able to be off doing my thing. And when my batteries are ready, I'll be able to know immediately. So I really like it. It's very basic. The app is not got a lot of gimmicks to it. It's basically just, you got your A, your B, your C, and your D, and it tells you what each channel is doing and brings up that information, and it gives you all the stuff that you need. So I really like it. I think it's an excellent addition.
So if you had a cell go bad, let loose while you're charging, I would assume this would also ping you and say rush immediately to your charging.
Yes, sir.
Box.
It actually keeps track of the cells as it's charging, and on the app, I can't bring it up because I'm not charging anything right now. But on the app, I think it's on. I think I showed the app on there. On the app, you can actually see each cell as it goes through and balances them and shows, this cell is a little low, these cells are high, but it does a real good job of giving you that information. There it is right there, Jim. See at the bottom there, it gives you as it's charging, it gives you your telemetry basically to let you know what your cells are doing.
That's
here's the
almost
trick.
worth the price right there.
Yeah, so a lot of guys have their TVs, like 75-inch giant TVs in their build room, so they can watch stuff while they work. And so now, just mirror that to your TV, so you can have your batteries charging on the big screen while you're working on your plane. You just look over and see how things are going.
Sure. Yeah, I actually like it, and it also
Super
connects
thing.
with the computer too. It's so it does the app. You can download the app, and I did test the app on my iPhone and my iPad. It worked great on both. But you can also download the Master Charge software and have it go into your PC or your Mac with the same kind of information. The computer app gives a little bit more information than the app does, but to me it's seamless. I really like those features. And again, compared. Here's the charger. Here's my iPhone. It's amazing the features this thing has for being as small as it is. A lot of times with the smaller chargers, I've noticed over the years, they're not quite as action packed. I'd say they don't have quite as many features, but this one's definitely a full feature. I can't think of a thing it's missing.
Awesome. The one thing I would say is you're buying this from Hitec, or the vendor that sells it, but it's a Hitec backed product. So you're not just getting this charger, you're getting the people at Hitec to support you as well.
So probably and I'm talking about it here, probably the one feature that I was a little, I wouldn't call it bad because I have enough stuff already, but for those of you getting into a charger, you're going to need to add some cables. It doesn't come with anything other than just the AC and the DC cable. So you don't get balance boards. You don't get different connectors. All you have is the XT60 to the front, and you'll need a balance board. And if, like I said, if you need different connectors, you'll have to purchase those. Other than that, it's great.
And as a guy that's charged a plethora of different batteries, maybe the reason it doesn't come with that stuff is what you need specifically for your batteries may not be what the other guy needs, from the charging ports and everything else. So you kind of have to buy what you use. Yep.
And side note, they've changed on the front there. You can't tell, but they've changed their balance port plug-in. So for those of us who've been doing this for a while, the balance boards had a little clip at the top where you clipped them in. These don't have that. So if you're going to order this and you're going to order balance boards, make sure you get the ones that don't have the clip, because the ones that have the clip will not work.
Pro tip.
And you can just plug the battery balance lead straight into the charger too. You don't need the balance board.
Right. If
you have an XT60 battery, you don't need anything. But
you could do that, and I can't bring myself to do that. I've gotten so used to using the balance boards over the years that I just can't bring myself to not use one. I don't know what it is. It's somewhere in my brain. It won't allow me to do that.
Another great feature is that there's a whole review on this thing. So after you buy it, you can watch the video, read the review, and know the things that Mean Joe wants you to know. And that is a value in itself, if you ask me. It certainly is for me. When I buy something, I want to read a thing that'll show me things I may never have figured out.
It's pretty cool. And it's very intuitive too. I like the fact that some of the first generation, I won't even say first generation, some of the older generations of chargers didn't automatically detect the batteries. I think Revolex was the first ones that really started doing that. This one actually detects the cell count and detects what battery it should be, and also detects what charge rate you should charge at, which is kind of handy to have, especially if you're getting in new to it. It makes it hard it'll actually fault you. So I tested it. It'll actually fault you and give you a buzzer warning if you select the wrong pack that's connected.
That's awesome. Safety.
Yeah,
and if you want to check it out, of course, this is in our online magazine, and you can go find it. You can search it, and there'll also be a link to all of these feature articles in the video you're watching right now to make it super simple. And we will jump out of here, and we'll talk about a Legend Hobby bird. So talk to us about your relationship with Legend Hobby and what's happening there.
So I'm actually a team pilot now with Legend Hobby RC. I think a lot of people already knew that. We've been having an absolute blast. With my being down for a while, I've fallen behind on a lot of projects, but those are back up and running, and they should start coming out very quickly. Tomas is a great individual. We've become close friends in a very short amount of time, and the job is amazing. Tomas is great. He treats me really good. His customer service is just second to none, in my opinion. I've actually been doing like the social media gig and also taking tech calls and all that kind of stuff. So apologies for anybody that's had issues getting a hold of us lately. I was down for a while, and quite honestly, I didn't have the lung capacity to talk on the phone for more than just a few minutes at a time. So, but we're all caught back up now, and everything should be rolling. It's great. I'm really enjoying it over there. Again, Thomas is amazing. He's a great for the hobby, and you're just not going to get better customer service, in my opinion. He's all over it. He has a heart for it.
He must have the heart for it, because the amount of stuff he brings out and the amount I'm blown away at what he gets accomplished. And that's saying a lot.
Keep in mind, we both still have full jobs. So he's also doing this on the side. So for him, and that's one of the things I'll let people know calling in, if there's a 24-hour delay, it's only just because we both still have full-time jobs, and we can only put so many hours in a day. But he's oftentimes there till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, packing orders and answering emails and all that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, you just can't go wrong with him. That was part of the reason why when he approached me, for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to go that direction, because I've heard nothing but great things, and I'd had a few dealings with him over the years, but I'm just blown away with how he does business. It's amazing.
He must love it.
He does.
The first thing we're going to look at is this RQ7.
Yeah, so the RQ7 is actually, that's going to be a quarter scale. That's going to be your typical drone. That is a scale model. It's going to be in the what I want to say. It's going to be in the container that's coming up, and that should be here very shortly. We've done some additions to that. They've developed a first-person view camera pod that will mount on the bottom. So just like the real thing, you'll have a turning head view, first-person view kind of thing where you could hook up with your FPV stuff and fly it. It can be fitted with the bomb drops available at legendhobby.com. And for those of you that are into that kind of thing, it's actually going to be a very cool airframe. Jason Kujin, I apologize if I pronounced his name wrong, but he's done a pretty good video series on that. If you want to check him out, he's got the camera pod. He's doing some FPV stuff. He's been out there flying it, and it actually looks like it flies very well. So that's going to be one for the cool factor.
Wow, that is cool. Wait, that's real. Okay,
I'd love to see somebody do the launcher. I'd love to see an RC version of the launcher. I think
that'd be cool.
Sweet.
Someone should get that going for Seth and just have it ready to go.
I'm sure somebody will. There's got to be. I remember those Jetapults they used to have. I'm sure somebody will modify a Jetapult so it does that. So, because I think that would just add to the cool factor 100%. But you can see here, Jason's showing you, it comes with everything. It's just basically you just put everything in it. You install all the stuff. They consider that an ARF plus. I consider it an ARF with all the stuff. An ARF Plus to me comes with everything installed.
Right.
You still have to install everything. Quick tip: if you grab this one, make sure you put that prop on there the correct direction.
Oh yeah,
because it is a pusher. It actually goes. The prop goes on there what you would think would be backwards. So
you'll know as soon as you're like, "Where's the power?"
Yeah. It'll make a weird noise too.
That was like the #1 tech question we got at Hobby Lobby back in the day on the
Wingo.
The Wingos. Yep.
And what was the other one? The Wing Dragon. Yes.
There you go. I actually did that. I don't know if you guys remember, but years ago I did the review on the Icon A5 and flew it with the review and did the review. Turned out great, but couldn't get it to come off the water. We were like, why isn't this thing coming off the water? We'd eventually get it up and it would fly, but then figured out that the prop was on backwards, and man, it just jumped off the water after that.
I wish cars were like that, and you could flip something around and then get twice the torque out of it.
Right. Don't buy into the if you're new to this, don't buy into the just reverse the channel. Just switch the prop. Right. The reversing the channel thing doesn't always pan out like you would think it would.
And just so you know, right here on the page here is the YouTube video, and so you can go check that out right off the main page.
And you can check out Jason. His is what is it? It's Oh, goodness sakes. Jay's RC Garage. He's got a lot of videos on this. He's done at least 2 or 3. He's been really helping us out at Legend Hobby, because with Mean Joe being down and not being able to do much, he's been keeping the media going. So
Nice.
we're grateful to what he's done and all the stuff he's checked out.
Awesome. Next is the 71-inch P51D Charlotte Chariot 2 and Obsession.
So we're going to have this in 2 versions. This one is actually supposed to be leaving the shop, leaving Seagull in 2 weeks. So we expect this to be in our spring container, which we're expecting to arrive end of April, 1st of May timeframe. Depends on how long it takes to get here, if they run into any issues, going through customs and all that stuff. But we're expecting that to be along quite quickly. Like I said, again, it's supposed to leave. If you follow Seagull models, you can actually see some behind the scenes pictures of this that are laying there on the counter. When she Dwayne posted some pictures, and there's a few pictures of it there. And to me, it looks a phenomenal model. They decided to go a little bit smaller for this one. I think they're trying to get to that, the easy to transport, easy to fly type size. I would expect that at some point, because I think this one's going to be popular. I would expect at some point they would think about blowing it up a little bit bigger so you can get to the giant scale.
It's still pretty big.
But it's pretty big. 71 inches, you could probably add tip tanks and get to your 81 inches for giant scale.
It's an ARF,
Okay.
right?
It is an ARF. Yes, sir. Yep, it is an ARF.
Well, let's get to those pictures then. Let's see if
we will have JP Electric retracts available right off the bat. Those will be available instantly. Now, keep in mind, in the U.S. market, the retracts will not come with this model. A lot of times there's some confusion with these models that have retracts. In the U.S. market, we cannot offer them with the retracts included. So you'll have to get the retracts as well.
And we have suggestions for that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, I want to tell a P51 story while we're looking at one. Jason, I don't know if I'm sure you have seen the guy who owns a full-scale P51, a real one in the area. I haven't seen him in 10 years at least. But there just up the street from me is a state park, and it's full of, I wouldn't call them mountains, but they are certainly not hills. They are in between a mountain and a hill. And my wife and I would go walking up there, and we're topping. Now you can't see anything because it's all trees, but we're topping the top of this hill that we're walking up, and they have cleared out this area where you can sit on a bench and see all the way across the golf course there. And right as we enter that clearing, I hear the P51 and he's coming. And it's like, I don't know, Christmas. Like if you could hear Santa Claus and you're a kid and you got to run to see Santa. Angela's like, what's going on? And I'm hauling butt to the top of that hill. That dude's not just flying directly at me. He's flying knife edge.
Yes.
Ripping P51. And I'm like, how close is he going to get to this hill? And then he doesn't even level out. He just knife edges around and heads back the other way until I can't see him anymore. It was awesome.
Nice.
The best.
Now I heard
Very cool.
every time he fueled up, it was $500, which at the time seemed expensive, but now it seems so cheap.
I'm sure it's way more than that now.
Yep.
And that sucker going to drink gas too.
And now we're going to jump to Art Scholl. What a guy. Super Chipmunk, 15cc, 63-inch.
Yeah, so this is another new offering. I want to start off by saying all of the model corrections have been made. They posted some pictures early on that had some errors. Those have all been corrected. And that model is, again, along with the P51, that's supposed to leave Seagull in 2 weeks. So those will be in our spring container. This one's very anticipated. People are really excited about this. It's going to be 63 inches. So it's going to be a good size for transport. You'll be able to do it electric or gas, whatever you're into. And it should be a fantastic flying model. I mean, it's a Chipmunk, so it's going to fly good.
Yep.
Nice and flappy.
Yeah, we did make the corrections though. Every once in a while, they'll post some pictures that they're in development. And so they had some pictures on there that had the wrong tail number. They had the wrong wheel pans.
Oh, yeah. The detail guys will get you every time.
Oh, our scale guys jumped all over that. 5 minutes after we posted, they were like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Yeah, it's all corrected.
Nice.
Very cool airplane. We're excited about that one. I think that one's going to be a huge hit.
Now, I've got to say, I've never flown a Chipmunk. but everyone loves a chipmunk. Is it because they just fly so well?
Well, they fly good. They fly. It's a trainer. You know, the full scale was designed as a trainer aircraft, so it's got some dihedral in the wing. It's got,
Okay.
you know, it's got very docile flight tendencies, but it's also very aerobatic. It's one of those ones that's kind of on the edge. Obviously, Art did a phenomenal air show with those airplanes, and I think over the years he had a couple of different versions. But yeah, it's going to be a big one. That's going to be very popular.
The very first aerobatic powered plane I ever owned was a chipmunk.
Yep. Yeah. I had one. I had back in the day. I had one when I was still at SIG. I had the original version of the chipmunk that they came out with. I don't even remember. It was a little bit smaller than this one, but it actually flew very, very well. No issues at all.
Awesome.
I have to say one thing that I've been hugely impressed with. So we've been doing this for a while, and I can't say enough about the quality of aircrafts coming out of Seagull models these days. They have. In the past, you know, some of the stuff was, for lack of a better term, a little bit sketchy, maybe not the best quality. There was a lot of things that needed to be done to their models, but they have really, with Tomas's help, made some huge gains in the quality of the aircraft. A lot of this stuff, of course, with any ARF, there's going to be issues here once in a while, but just the quality out of the factory is so much better than it always was before, and I'm really impressed with that. They've done a great job at making sure that stuff is right when it gets here.
Cool. Okay, now this next video we have that I'm about to bring up, this guy, you should see him. He's like a supermodel. Here we go. Bam! Look at that dude.
Guy's got a giant head.
So that is a sweet little setup you've got going there, Joe.
Oh, thanks. That's what we got. That's behind me here. I can't find a good camera to get the whole thing in. I'm thinking about moving the video desk out that way so I can get the backdrop all fully in. But yeah. So that was the Maxi build. I believe that was episode 4. And it's been a minute since episode 5. Actually, it was funny because I sent Tomas a picture of the airframe the other day because I was back in the shop finally. And I was like, finally back to the business. And he said, well, you might want to dust it off. It literally has a layer of dust on it from me being awesome. Down. Yeah, that was the episode 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, part 4. Cool. So part 5 will be coming up shortly. Most of it's about halfway filmed. So, and then the rest of it will be following very shortly now that we're back down here in the shop. That's a utility aircraft. It's like a sport aerobatic utility aircraft. So it comes with the capabilities of, it actually comes with bomb drop, like a candy drop. It also has the, what I want to say, the, I'm wanting to say tail dragger, but that's incorrect. It has the tail, the tow hook.
Okay, for towing up some gliders.
Tires. Yeah, you can tow up gliders with it. It's got a lot of really cool features that they included with that airframe.
So this would be the ultimate video if you're building one to really get an idea of everything that needs to be done and how to do it.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do with this video series is make sure like the tips and the tricks are in there. But the main stuff, the easy stuff, I'm kind of skipping over, and I'm doing that on purpose because what I plan on doing is more video series. It's like quick tip type things. I didn't want to bog down, the general tips, because I like to try to keep these videos around 20 minutes because, as we know, attention spans are only about 20 minutes long, and then they're going to lose interest. So there will be lots more tips and tricks coming out with all the other builds. We have a line of aircraft waiting behind the Maxi. We've got I'll have the Stuka, I'll have the Corsair, the P-47, the FW-190. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming very quickly on the YouTube and the rest of the social media stuff.
And speaking of 20 minutes,
pay attention right here because we're seeing modeling skills in action.
Right.
You
don't see this very often these days.
Well, I get it. You know, over the years, I've gotten a lot of questions about how do I install my cowl? How do I get that right? So I've used this method that I picked up when I first got into the hobby. I believe my original instructors, Daryl and Harold, kind of showed me how to do this, and it works every single time. There's no issues, and you'll get the screws and you'll get everything right. So you don't have a bunch of holes where you're searching for this and that. You don't have that with this method. It actually works very, very good.
All right. I see.
Cool. Yep.
Very cool. And then our last video, speaking of 20 minutes, is We don't care. The Seagull Models Maxi Lift, and this is flight. Now, this you'll see right here in the corner, I've highlighted with Fitz. Hey to Fitz. We're not here to leave you out, Fitz, but we are going to watch you
Well
fly.
behaved on a takeoff run, which is relatively short. Up in the air, the model is capable of basic aerobatics like rolls, though it will take its time doing them. Nice loops. Snap rolls.
It's a good looking
stall
sport plane.
turns.
Yeah, and we're gonna test the aerobatics of that when me and Joe gets on the sticks. We're gonna,
There you go.
you know, I've got a buddy of mine, Brad's always telling me, you know, not every plane hovers, and I'm like, yes, they do. But we're gonna
At least for a minute.
at least for a minute. We're gonna push the envelope, but it's actually very fun. It's gonna be great stall aircraft.
Big
They're doing some stall competitions this year, and I'm actually thinking about trying to make it out with this aircraft. It's gonna have a little bit bigger of a motor and a little bit bigger tires, and I think it'll just be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
There's Fitz.
There's Fitz.
Okay, so just to let everyone know where we're at, we do have some really cool news this week. We're going to continue on. But before we do that, Mean Joe, I want to say, thanks for the great, Mean Joe's not going anywhere. Thanks for the great review on the Hitec charger, and hey to everyone at Hitec. Hello out there. And also, thanks for all the great stuff you do for Legend and Legend Hobby. I always say without companies like these, we would have no hobby unless you stick built and made your motors yourself, or collected old motors. I had one more. Oh, I was going to tell a short story. Jason, I haven't done a blast from the past video in the last at least one. So I want to talk about the first globe model airplane I ever built and flew here in Nashville, Tennessee. Bryce Custer, I called him and I said, it was a stick 40 and I put a 60 size 2-stroke motor on it. And, which he said was a bad idea, but I thought this was the best idea. It had to be heavier and more powerful would be better. That's not true, everyone. Don't do what I did. I'll keep this very short. Let's just say that someone showed up who I barely knew, and they said, I'll help you fly this plane. And I said, great. I've only spent all the money I have and all the time on this. So our field was on a slight hill, and it had a little drop off on most of the edges except where you stood. So I throttle up the custom graphics. I had a 2-stroke motor with crossed wrenches. It said Death 60 on it, so it was all tweaked out. I immediately flew it off the hill and below the hill, completely lost sight, and I lost my mind and went full throttle. And this comes to you, Mean Joe. When I hit the full throttle, here's the hill. My airplane came straight up. Well, let's say it this way, straight up from behind the hill, and it wasn't a hover. It was just straight up climb. And right as it got into our vision from being gone for a second, it blew the muffler off. So it went from wah to wah, and it's screaming through the sky. Now I haven't really flown an airplane yet, just a few times. And I've completely lost all the nerve I had. And I am now going over the road that parallels the runway, which this was 20 or 25 years ago. And so the guy with me says, turn right. And as soon as I barely breathed on the stick, the plane went inverted. And then he goes, turn left. And then when I did it, it would invert the other way. And so I went, wow, traffic's going around. I'm flying over there and going wing, 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 wing. And then he says, chop the throttle. And I did. And it crashed into a parking lot across from the park, Jason. But then I thought, that's it. It's in a million pieces. It rose back up from nowhere. No motor. Flew across that creek and landed in a cornfield. At this point, my helper says, I'm out of here, man. He gets in his car and leaves. I was like,
job, buddy.
Yeah, I'm never flying RC. He should have taken the plane from me. And that's what I would have done. So
Yikes.
I was not going to fly after that. But the end of the story is I drove over to the parking lot and found the landing gear next to a car. So I must have come into the thing and pancaked the landing gear, which was aluminum. And now people don't believe this actually happened, but I believe the landing gear popped like a spring and pushed it back into the air as it slightly went over the creek. And I found it in the cornfield. I have pictures of it.
That's hilarious.
And
Crazy,
then
man.
and that was almost it for me. I bought a wing. I forget what they're called. Wing. No. What are those
Like
wings
a pop
called?
wing. They had the pop wings.
Even before the pop wing, the Z, it starts with the Z. Anyway,
The zinger.
that's I've got it in the garage. I almost threw it away last weekend, and I thought I can't throw that away. That's what got me back in the hobby, and that's what kept me in the hobby was that little wing because it didn't scare me like the Death
The Zaggy.
60.
The Zaggy.
Zaggy. It was a Zaggy.
Aggie. Yeah, there you go. I was close.
Okay. Yes. Okay, we're going to blast right into the news, of which there is much, and it's interesting. Me, Joe, feel free to interject with anything you want to say. Let me zoom in here. Let me make sure I have the right screen picked in. Oh. Okay, maybe. Okay, first we're going to talk about the CNHL. This is the pizza lineup of lipos. Jason, did you even know this existed?
I was hungry for pizza as soon as I saw that this morning.
This
I did not know there was a brand of pizza for
green
battery.
peppers, cheese, and I believe this is pepperoni.
It's
And
all
this is
about that marketing.
Well, it's named after a drone pilot named like something pizza. I don't know.
Okay.
But basically what we have here, if it'll pull up for me, it's a whole video from a drone pilot about this battery. And sometimes if I move my mouse, it'll pick it up and how good it will do. And so we talk about capacity, how long it'll actually last. These are really inexpensive batteries. And there's all kinds. Let's go look at all the variations. This is the one variation. Let's see if it'll show us the whole pizza series.
Success.
I'm going to type in pizza. We're going to get off of this in just 1 second. I was on the line with CNHL just this morning. So they have a plethora of pizza lipos to choose from. And let's look at the prices. $19.99, $41, $9, $39, $10.99, $38. So they're inexpensive. And while the video didn't show it, they also perform well. And so this is basically he's going to fly his FPV and then look at his numbers and stats and all that good stuff.
Very cool.
So there it is. The pizza line of lithium polymers.
I was not going to lie. I was kind of hoping they were trying to gain some stuff off of BattleBots with Ripperoni, because that's one of the big uncomers for this last season was the Ripperoni. It's a big pizza box that's a battle robot.
Nice. I don't know if you follow along, Mean Joe, but this is the blog of the week by Jason Cole, highlighting our users.
Yeah, so this was a cool one. It's big, fairly big sized ME 262, and I think the conversion part of this was swapping it out to some different landing gear, some retractable landing gear. But he's got a lot of pictures of the build and the process. It's just again modeling that you don't see a lot. So this is highlighting that for everybody to check out.
Very nice. And this is user Frank Feldhouse. So congrats on being the blog of the week, Frank. All you have to do to be blog of the week is have an awesome blog post. This just popped up. I think they posted this yesterday. It's the HobbyKing Mega Sale, Mega Spring Sale. I have links to every part of the world in case you're not just from America. And they have some cool stuff going up, and some of it's not expensive, and some of it is. Like this jet is $399, or
jets.
The little my plane is $119.
What is that a cartoon plane, or is that just an aspect ratio?
Okay,
that right there. What is that?
It's a cartoon scale.
Is it a cartoon scale?
I will admit that I wrote Stuart about this as soon as I saw it. There aren't very many left. I'm sure they'll be back in stock soon. But this is cartoon scale to answer your question. Yes.
That's funny. Love it. 3-channel. Nice.
Squatty.
That's cool.
$69. Come on.
Just
like
trolling the scale guys, but so fun.
with a transmitter, and it has a gyro. And I was thinking a plane like this must need a gyro, right?
Yeah, why not? That's awesome.
So go check it out. I'm not sure when it ends, and I'm not even going to tell you. You can go find out for yourself. Hey to HobbyKing. I talk to Stuart like these days twice a week, and we should be having some cool stuff for you to look at from HobbyKing here on the news channel. This is from Team Hitec. Me, Joe, do you know Dan Skuropacki?
I've met him before once.
Okay, well, there he is right there. That is quite a field. This looks like he's hanging out in a real flight airfield.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then they talk about some of his planes and the servos that he runs. Dan's been dominating the skies for 23 years. Sounds like a lot of work, all while trusting in Hitec servos for top-notch performance. So Dan with Hitec. We've been talking about Hitec quite a bit today. This is interesting. This is something I saw. Problem solved. Let's hope YouTube plays with this. I hear YouTube's been throttling speeds on users now. Don't quote me. I'm no expert. I've just been hearing that. So basically what we have here is this guy did a whole build thread on this bull jet. And this could be a what the heck Wednesday. I'm not sure when the crash occurs. Let's go straight to the crashing.
Boom.
Probably at the end. Okay, here we go.
Here it goes. This could have been a what the heck Wednesday post.
So I'll go ahead and talk about the next part. He didn't know why he crashed, but his throttle at this point is pulsing up and down uncontrollably. Come on, dude. Okay, he's nose up.
That looks like a stall.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That plane's fine. Give me a break. So basically, he says, I figured it out. So he's running a Jetty transmitter. And let's get to the graphs. He starts going through what he's learning from the transmitter itself. And then he goes into graphical data, which I just saw. Come on, JT. Anyway, there's a ton of spikes right there in his throttle. So it was some sort of onboard issue causing throttle spikes. And the data is how he tracked it down. He looked at the data coming off the Jetty, and that's where he was like, okay, I think I see the problem here.
It's one of the reasons I love my Jetty stuff so much is it's just so capable, and the amount of sensors and telemetry and data that you can use. Like I don't even probably come close to using like what all it's capable of for my sailplanes, but for jet guys and giant scale, it's just amazing what you can do with it.
Well, he had a whole graph. But anyway, we want to say hey to ZB. Jason and I have known ZB and have been through many escapades with him. Mean Joe, you ever been through a ZB escapade?
I have a few, actually. Yes, sir.
Yes. To say he's a character is to say the least.
I believe there's a couple of Toledo stories of all of us in ZB having some escapades. If I remember correctly, I believe we had some stuff going on in Toledo a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the bar was not involved.
No, never.
Yes. Jason, tell us what's happening here.
This is so cool. So Red Bull, obviously F1, like I've seen drone chase footage of race cars and stuff before, right? But I don't think you've ever really seen one of an F1 car. And it's just mind blowing what they had to do to get this to actually work. Cause these cars are so fast. Like you don't realize it just watching normal video.
What is that?
So this is them prototyping. They had to basically create like one of the fastest camera drones in the world to be able to keep up with not only just the high speed, but the crazy acceleration and deceleration that the F1 cars are capable of. So the goal was to basically do a one-shot, one-lap follow of an F1 car. And it sounds a lot easier than it was. And they spent a long time perfecting this, designing this drone, testing, getting it to work, and then being able to keep up and follow with this thing. It's simply incredible. Like I can't remember the top speed, but it's insane, mind blowing.
Yeah, he's hauling the miles per hour.
Yeah, and then so they go through this whole spiel of how they all put it together, and then they do a drag race. But then at the end they do the actual one lap chase. If you want to scroll through to that, this is one of their test laps. But for that drone to be able to keep up with that car, like regular race drones aren't capable of doing it.
Who knew that FPV pilots have become like superstars?
Yeah, and they're talking about, someday in the future maybe, but this could change the way that they broadcast F1 races because you actually do get a better sense of speed and the action, what's going on here. So, who knows? Someday you might be seeing this live on ESPN or whatever broadcast, and it's a drone pilot chasing these cars, showing you the video footage.
Well,
Yeah, I
think
could
they
see
should.
this being something that's going to be in the near future because our buddy Evan Turner has already been working with NASCAR, shooting videos for them. Not really much chase stuff like this, but with that capabilities, I could see this jumping the NASCAR really quickly because
Oh
as
yeah.
fast as they are, they're
Yep.
nowhere near the speed of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
they're 100
simply
miles an hour or less.
unreal. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So awesome.
Such a cool video.
All right, what's next? Well, speaking of cool, I saw this and I was like, I have to do a video. How do you like my 1992 checkerboard rip that I put in there?
I wondered if you did that.
Oh yeah, that's we used to put that on all our profile 3D planes.
That's right.
Let's just enjoy RC motorcycling. There have been RC motorcycles in the past, but they're finicky and they're weird, and this thing is supposed to have solved the problems.
Yep, the new tech that they've been able to do. What was not too long ago there was another motorcycle. Was it a road style motorcycle, the Pomoto?
It is, and when you say not too long ago, I think it was like at least 5 or 6 years ago. It's pretty.
No. There was a
No,
more recent one. Yeah, they Losi came out with, and this is a dirt bike version of it.
Well, let's see it run, y'all.
Yeah, Mean Joe needs one of these bad. That thing's awesome.
Plus, talk about an audience. Wow. You break this out, everyone will stop.
So we were just talking about these yesterday. They're fully customizable. So there's like a ton of already aftermarket parts
Nice.
to do shocks and wheels and tires and tanks and seats,
Clothing,
and everything. You can customize these things just to the nth degree.
Whoops. Yeah, they look pretty dang fun, man.
they look real.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the trainer bars. You don't have to have the trainer bars on there, I don't think.
Yeah, that one's off.
I think I've seen them run them without it.
Uh-huh.
So cool, though. Yeah, I need one of those bad.
I spent half my life on a dirt bike, and I made it out alive.
We got a pretty cool car track like this nearby in town at a state park. It'd be fun to go run these there.
Okay,
Yeah, we got one here at Saranac. That's David Walters RC Park's got, dirt track and oval track and crawler courses and all that stuff with the airplane stuff too.
$549.99. That is not bad. I'm sure it's worth every penny. So once again, the fine folks at Horizon. I was talking to Steve Petrato just this week. Good times. This is a brand new advertiser. First of all, I want to say thank you, Charging Cases, for coming on board, supporting the site. And Mean Joe, have you ever dealt with these guys?
Not them directly. I did a charger case a few years ago for RCGroups through Joe Cashwell. But those look pretty cool. I haven't actually dealt with those yet, but they look like they would be amazing.
So here's ready to run cases.
I'll tell you, I always looked at them. I'm like, why would you want that? Like, I don't need a charger case. And then the first time I used one, I was like, this is awesome.
Yep.
It's so convenient and just simple, and just open it up, plug it in, go.
It'd be a great one for taking to like indoor or taking again, like to the field. You can take it to the field and charge your airplanes that way as well.
And it looks to me like the concept here is they have everything that you need to put a case together, from the chargers to the power cords and all the stuff that you need to make the magic.
Cool. Yeah, it probably comes with a power supply on the inside and the whole 9 yards.
Right. And then they have all the power cords here for you to buy and all that stuff.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Fancy.
And then we're going to jump to What the Heck Wednesday, everyone's favorite, Jason Cole makes the magic.
It's a good one. This is a, turbine powered, amazing Mirage 2000 jet. And it's just not enough runway, folks.
And maybe,
And then how unfortunate is it to have a corn, a 6 foot tall corn right at the end of your runway, right?
Who doesn't? Okay.
Ouch.
I'm not going to say it. It's a beautiful airplane.
It was.
Well, what was left of it? Let's go see.
Man, we plowed that cornfield, dude. Whew.
Wow, those corn stalks are hard too. If you've never been in the corn, I'm telling you, that's no joke.
Yeah.
I was going to say, who here's run through a cornfield?
Oh, we used to do it all the time.
I've landed in it. Yeah, you throw a sailplane in there, you ain't finding it unless you got a drone.
Corn stalks, cut you, and then they deposit like pollen that's made of poison.
So not only are you bleeding, you're sneezing too. You have allergic reaction as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No
don't want to go
fun.
in the cornfield. Okay, so the tanks, they're not unscathed, but they're somewhat scathed. And then the nose looks fine. Oh, but it's the wings. I guess we need to
Oh,
figure
Landing
yeah.
out.
gears, toast. Yeah, it's hurt.
Yeah, there's corn in the wings.
Plus the corn
Yeah.
stalks that he sucked up into the turbine. Yeah, I'm
Whew.
sure it's
Ouchie.
Jeez. Hey, man.
actually, it doesn't look too terrible though, really. I mean, it looks like it totally would be repairable.
I want to see it go into that corn again.
Shing.
I don't know. I might feel a little silly.
Yeah.
So, Jason, what's the intel here? CR is back?
Yeah, so the CR, man, these were the planes that I was fantasizing about when I was getting started. Like these were like the high performance slope planes that guys were flying off the mountains in North Carolina, and I was like, one day I'm gonna have one of these planes. And so many companies like that are gone today, and like you can't find them anymore. And so Chip's been able to work the deal, get the molds, get the IP rights, and start producing these things again. And it's pretty awesome for the slope community to have access to these classics. Just good performing, good flying, fun airplanes. So it's nice to see it come back.
Nice.
Very cool.
And the other part is there's a whole main thread here you can go check out and hang out in if you're into that. And CR, I'll be shooting you an email today if you're watching. Here, look at this. Just look at this picture. Come
Is it
on.
real?
That's right. So this is Scale Dummy Engines. I know he's invested a lot of money to be able to produce these engines for you. And you can use this in a lot of different ways. Let's see what I have here. I've got photos of some sample engines that he sent me. Also a brand new sponsor. Big thanks for supporting the hobby and supporting RC Groups, because when you have 500,000 RC pilots a month on the site, it takes a little money to keep those servers rolling. But he does all kinds
on one end of the spectrum, we've got the cartoon scale plane from HobbyKing, and then on the other end, we've got this for the scale guys.
From machine guns to cockpits. They've got it all.
It's incredible. That's good stuff right there.
Be sure and hit the link. He takes it very seriously.
He's actually doing some scale engines for like the T-28s and some of the airframes we have. He's working on some cockpits for the Corsair, dummy engine for the Corsair. It's very cool, very detailed stuff.
And did I see he's some of this stuff is on your site? Is that true?
It is. Yes, sir. Yes,
Nice.
sir.
All right. So place of the month is Blount
The
County.
Blount. Yeah, not to be confused with narcotics. Nothing to do with that. But yeah, place of the month. The RCGroups places feature has RC sites, car sites, hobby shops, places all over the world. So we highlight one a month.
And you can find out where they're located, annual dues, and all kinds of things that they're into there. So once again, you got to have them. CNHNL. I did it wrong one more time. CNHL is having a sale. So just letting everyone know, you can go here and get some money off your batteries. We've already talked about them once, but you can go check that out.
And we're caught up.
What else? Now, we talked about this last week. There was one thing last week we didn't talk about, and then I was upset about it. It was a transmitter, and I am not seeing it here. It was an RC car transmitter. I'm going to look one more time, and then I'm going to stop looking. Nope. Andrew Jeske. Yeah. Mike Patey. Okay. I promise next week I'll have it pulled up and we can look. It's like the iPhone of ground transmitters.
Nice.
Well, everyone, we did it. We went through the news. We're 49 minutes and 17 seconds hanging out with Mean Joe Vermillion, who cheated death, grabbed it by the throat, and has become a supermodel.
Exactly.
In the RC.
Yeah, we're glad you're doing better, buddy.
I appreciate that, guys. I really do. I saw your podcast, and it really made me feel good that people think about you. You know, this I've said it a million times. This hobby is amazing. The people in it are amazing, and truly, people do care about you, and that was huge for me.
Awesome.
Yep.
And with that said, Jeff Carr, if you're watching, keeping you in our thoughts, man. You're getting better, and just keep getting more better. We want you out there slinging DLGs the next time we're at Joe Nall. So that would be
Some
awesome.
Jeff Carr news, by the way. He did post on the sailplane event section, and they are having the Mid-South soaring events the week after Joe Nall, like usual. So it is actually on. So that's exciting.
Great. That is exciting. I love it. Well, man, I want to thank Mean Joe and Jason for taking time. You know, they've all got things to do. I'm sure it is Friday. I'm going to eat Mexican food tonight and drink margaritas, chips, queso. I'm going to do the whole dang deal.
Oh, we're going to Mama D's mac and cheese tonight.
Now, Mean Joe, you're not eating mac and cheese tonight, are you?
Probably going to have a salad.
I will. With that said, the older I get, the more touchy I am about my health. So I have all my eating has become very nice. Now, when I eat Mexican food, I will indulge a little bit. But in general, I'm trying to keep it all nice and clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
All
hey,
right.
we're only a couple of short weeks away from time change, folks.
Oh, is that good or bad? Which one is it?
Mean Joe went through that today, actually.
More daylight.
How'd you get that thumbs up on there? Who did that?
I didn't do it. Oh,
Hey.
I think it'll do it if you do it. Yes.
Wow. Well, mine won't
work.
That's hilarious.
I'm
That's
not
awesome.
cool enough.
The other thing I meant to say for that spring sale, when it came up, I'm like, is it really going to be spring? Is winter really going to stop? Because I've had enough, bro.
Nice.
Well, the last person I want to thank is all of you who are watching. Be sure and share it and like it. We're going to keep coming at you with this information. This week, it really just exploded with towards the end of the week, information and news and people saying, hey, I want to talk to you. So awesome. And everyone that's called me this week or emailed me, I want to thank you. It makes my week when I get to talk to people and not just sit at this desk hammering away furiously with no input whatsoever. So
That's right.
Thanks. All right. RC Groups News, RC News. Thanks, everyone. Hit all the buttons, and we will see you next week.